Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Gashawn. I want to welcome you to Enter the Nerd. Today, we're talking about IronHeart. Quite simply, is it good? To me, no. Is it the worst show that the MCU's ever had? No. I think She-Hulk, Secret Invasion, Agatha are all worse, but not by much. It's still a terrible show. And for a couple of reasons outlined, understand something. I have also read her comic. I didn't only come into contact with her through this show. So I haven't been a fan even since then. But I still wanted to give this a chance because I'd rather be objective and be pleasantly surprised. And I wasn't pleasantly surprised. It was kind of what I expected. Except they did have two good themes in here towards the end that I did like. That might go slip under the radar because of all the other stupid shit that happens in this show. But let's just get into it. First, when it comes to the character, the title character, Ironheart, or Riri Williams. She tells everyone how smart she is constantly, and then downplays a lot of the geniuses that came before her, specifically Tony, who she's literally reverse engineering his suit and keeps talking about how he can't do whatever he's gonna do because, well, he can't do what he did without having the resources, which clearly, as far as being a billionaire, but he's still a genius. It's very strange to do that, right? Whatever. Then we go to her ruining Ezekiel Stane's life and making him a villain. And he describes her very well. He goes, oh, you're just a selfish person or a selfish little girl who will do whatever it takes to anyone as long as she gets away. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing, right? But he was right. It's a perfect description. So she's not really a good person. She's selling her projects for money for college so they could plagiarize and claim it as her own. But she has a whole bunch of things that she creates in that she could just sell the patents to and make a whole bunch of money and get what she wants. But she'd rather work for this hood character who is clearly doing a whole bunch of things that are illegal. And I'm not the genius here, remember? She's a genius. You would think she would understand those kinds of things. And someone would go, well, she's a kid. Doesn't matter. Remember, she's smarter than Tony Stark and Pam and all these people. She kind of says it right in the beginning, right? Now, there are obviously some differences between this and the comic book counterpart. There is no Stark AI because she doesn't have a direct interaction with him. But it is her best friend, her dead best friend, happens to be her AI after she scans her brainwaves to kind of restore the AI that was already in it, but it winds up creating that, which, once again, I'm going to get into at the end of this. Two themes that I actually did like that they talked about here, but it kind of will go right under the rug because of all the other stupid stuff. But speaking of characters, how many characters can we swap here? We have Slug. We have the Blood Brothers, who are now the Blood Lesbians. Now, for what reason? Just because, right? So, a lot of people saw that already from the trailer and were like, okay, this is not good. Like, they're already changing things for no reason, right? And then they were even talking about how we want this person, there's nothing to do with really. It's not about Iron Man's legacy, it's about her legacy. But you would literally have Obadiah Stane's son here as like a villain. Like, you're literally making a callback directly there. And even when she's in her armor, she does that famous thing from Iron Man 3 where she like can't breathe in the armor and stuff like that. They're literally making callbacks to Iron Man as much as they can all the time. So, just like in the comic, she needs Stark to justify her existence. Same way she does here, even if she's trying to shit on him, right? Now, what are the two things that I actually did like about this movie? One, they tried to handle the subject of grief very interestingly, even though she was an asshole there too, because after she created the AI, she tried to show it to her brother, and after he was the brother of the person who died. When she does, he's obviously pissed off, and she's a bit incredulous as to why he'd I'm tongue-tied today. Why he would respond that way. And duh, it's his dead sister in AI form. A lot of people are not going to be okay with that, right? The second thing was about the importance of having a father, and her stepfather provided a framework for her to be able to believe in herself. And that's a cool message because we're in a time where people are actually saying that fathers aren't really needed like that. And they are absolutely needed. And it was cool that they talked about that here, especially within a particular community. I'll let you fill that in, why this is extremely important. I like that this hammered that home. Now, here's something else I thought was weird. The Hood, the main character, has a cloak that is magical. Now, this magical cloak apparently comes from a different universe. How they figured a different realm or whatever. How did they find that out? the mom apparently knows somebody who owns a magic shop, who happens to have trained at Camartage, the same place that Doctor Strange changed, but she got knocked up and abandoned by the dude. So she's a single mom sorceress raising her daughter, right? They, like, even in comics, they couldn't escape that stereotype. And she thought, I'm going to take her from Camartage, because she said Camartage is not the place to raise a child. But she brought her to Chicago. Mind you, they can already go to different places. Apparently, they have the power to travel in different realms. But she chose Chicago for some reason to raise this child. Whatever, right? Also very, very strange, right? Then we have the inclusion of Mephisto. And Mephisto coming in, he's apparently the one that gave this cloak to, I'm forgetting his name, the guy that plays the Hood, Parker, I guess that's his name. And from there, when we finally see him and he wants to grant a wish, I go, so they could have brought Mephisto here at any time in the MCU. Why wasn't this done in WandaVision? So we could have got that House of M storyline where, before that, where he pretty much creates the two, the two boys out of his soul, and it takes it away, and then it makes her go crazy. Why do we have to wait until this show? Couldn't we get that back then? Well, that's right, because the person who created WandaVision barely knew anything about Wanda. So now we get this, an inclusion of a really cool, important character in the comics in a show that's really an insignificant shit. Wow. That's what happens here in this show. And this is why I say the show isn't the worst show, but it's pretty damn bad. And like I said, a lot of people didn't even watch this to review it, which was very strange to me. And some people did and ignored anything that could have been positive, which were those two things that I was talking about. But this character did not redeem himself from beginning to end. They're the same selfish character that makes very, very weird decisions. And clearly, there was a particular focus in the show, and it wasn't story, and it wasn't really character. That's just my 2 cents that I got from watching it. And also, I'm going to make a video about a certain character that's not from Marvel, named Livewire, who, if you want someone who is an African-American woman, great powers, awesome story, this is going to be a one that I want you to be able to read. I'm going to have a whole a whole video about that, and then even what stories you should be reading from her, because I kind of want Ironheart to disappear from existence. It's not going to happen, but at least I can put you on to someone else. Until then, keep reading comics, try to enjoy as many shows as you can, and enter the nerd.